Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when we must recognize our own worth. We must step away from anything and anyone that makes us feel like we need to beg for love, chase for attention, or engage in mind games to keep someone interested. The truth is, real connections don't require force. They flow naturally. If someone wants to leave your life, let them go. If someone stops reaching out, do not run after them. If someone plays games with your emotions, refuse to be a part of their playground. Life is too short to waste time on people who do not value your presence. You were not born to be in the shadows of those who do not see your light. Instead of seeking validation from others, build yourself. Focus on your growth, your peace, and your success. The right people will recognize your worth without you having to prove it to them. When you stop begging, you start attracting. When you stop chasing, you allow what is meant for you to come naturally. When you stop texting those who ignore you, you make space for those who genuinely care. And when you refuse to play games, you set the foundation for genuine and meaningful relationships. So stand firm in your dignity. Love yourself enough to walk away from anything that makes you feel less than you deserve. Your time is valuable. Your presence is a gift. And your worth is undeniable. No begging, no chasing, no texting, no games. Just self-respect, self-love, and the power to choose what serves you best. Self-worth and confidence are the foundation of a fulfilling and successful life. Understanding that you are enough, just as you are, is the key to developing a strong sense of self. Too often, people seek validation from others, believing that their value is determined by external approval. They chase relationships, friendships, and opportunities that may not align with their true selves, simply because they fear being alone or unrecognized. However, true self-worth comes from within. It is not something that can be given or taken away by someone else. It is something you cultivate and nurture through self-awareness, self-respect, and self-acceptance. Many people fall into the trap of believing that they must constantly prove their worth to others. They go out of their way to gain attention, to be liked, or to fit into societal expectations. But when you seek validation from outside sources, you hand over your power. You become dependent on others to feel good about yourself, and when that validation is not given, self-doubt creeps in. This is why it is essential to recognize that your worth is inherent. You are valuable simply because you exist, and no one else has the authority to determine your importance. Confidence is a natural result of recognizing your self-worth. When you truly believe in yourself, you stop second-guessing your decisions, and you no longer feel the need to beg for attention or approval. You carry yourself differently, knowing that you do not have to chase after anyone or anything to prove your value. Confidence does not mean arrogance. It means being secure in who you are, embracing both your strengths and weaknesses, and understanding that you are a work in progress, just like everyone else. Developing self-worth and confidence requires a shift in mindset. It starts with self-reflection, asking yourself why you feel the need to seek external validation and challenging those limiting beliefs. It involves setting boundaries, knowing when to walk away from situations that make you feel unappreciated or undervalued. It means surrounding yourself with people who uplift and respect you, rather than those who make you feel inadequate. Another important aspect of self-worth is self-love. When you genuinely love yourself, you treat yourself with kindness and care. You do not settle for less than you deserve, and you do not tolerate disrespect. You understand that you are worthy of love, success, and happiness without having to beg for it. When you cultivate self-worth and confidence, life changes in remarkable ways. You no longer feel the need to chase people who do not reciprocate your efforts. You no longer seek approval from those who do not see your value. Instead, you focus on your growth, your dreams, and your own happiness. The right people and opportunities naturally gravitate toward you, because confidence is magnetic. The moment you stop seeking validation from the outside world is the moment you unlock true freedom, peace, and fulfillment. Dignity in relationships is one of the most important aspects of maintaining self-respect and emotional well-being. Far too often, people find themselves in situations where they feel the need to beg for love, attention, or commitment. They believe that if they try a little harder, give a little more, or sacrifice their own needs, the other person will finally see their worth and reciprocate their feelings. However, the truth is that a relationship built on desperation, pleading, or one-sided effort is never healthy, and it rarely leads to genuine happiness. A dignified relationship is one where both individuals put in equal effort and respect each other's time, emotions, and boundaries. When you find yourself constantly trying to convince someone to stay, to care, or to love you the way you deserve, it is a clear sign that the relationship is unbalanced. Love and affection should never have to be earned through persistence or sacrifice. True love flows naturally. It does not require chasing or begging. If someone truly values you, they will make the effort to be present in your life, without you having to constantly remind them of your worth. Maintaining dignity in relationships also means knowing when to walk away. Many people stay in toxic or unfulfilling relationships out of fear of being alone, fear of not finding someone better, or fear of starting over. But settling for a relationship where you are undervalued only leads to emotional exhaustion and a loss of self-respect. Walking away from a situation that no longer serves you is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It means you respect yourself enough to know that you deserve better. Another important aspect of dignity in relationships is communication. People who respect themselves do not resort to games, manipulation, or passive-aggressive behavior to get what they want. Instead, they express their feelings openly and honestly, without fear of being judged or abandoned. If someone is unwilling to communicate with you in a healthy and mature way, that is a sign that they are not emotionally ready for a meaningful relationship. Dignity also involves having self-respect in how you allow others to treat you. When you tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or emotional neglect, you send the message that such behavior is acceptable. However, when you set clear boundaries and stand by them, you teach others how to treat you. A person who truly cares about you will never make you feel like you have to compete for their love or attention. They will respect your standards and meet you with the same level of effort and commitment. Ultimately, relationships should bring joy, growth, and mutual support, not stress and self-doubt. When you uphold your dignity, you naturally attract people who appreciate and respect you for who you are. You no longer waste time on those who take you for granted, because you understand that your worth does not depend on someone else's validation. A healthy relationship is not about chasing or proving yourself. It is about two people choosing each other willingly, with respect, care, and equality. Emotional independence is one of the most valuable qualities a person can develop. It means having the ability to regulate your own emotions, find fulfillment within yourself, and not rely on others for your happiness or sense of self-worth. Too often, people tie their emotional well-being to the actions, words, or approval of others, which leaves them vulnerable to disappointment and emotional instability. When you are emotionally independent, you take full responsibility for your happiness and no longer depend on external factors to define your value. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, is expecting others to complete them. They believe that if they find the right partner, the right friend, or the right job, they will finally feel happy and whole. However, this mindset places too much power in the hands of others. It creates a cycle of emotional dependency, where your mood, self-esteem, and confidence are dictated by how others treat you. If they show you love and attention, you feel good. If they ignore you or disappoint you, you feel empty and worthless. This kind of emotional instability leads to unnecessary suffering. True emotional independence begins with self-awareness. It requires recognizing the patterns that lead you to seek validation from others and understanding why you feel incomplete without external approval. Often this stems from childhood experiences, societal conditioning, or past relationships that made you believe your worth is determined by how others perceive you. However, once you acknowledge these patterns, you can start changing them. Building emotional independence involves shifting your focus inward. Instead of looking to others for happiness, learn to cultivate it within yourself. This means developing hobbies, passions, and goals that bring you joy, regardless of who is in your life. It also means learning to enjoy your own company, appreciating solitude, and finding peace within yourself. When you have a strong inner world, you become less affected by external circumstance. Another key aspect of emotional independence is setting and maintaining boundaries. Many people struggle with saying no or standing up for themselves because they fear rejection or conflict. However, when you allow others to overstep your boundaries just to keep them happy, you are sacrificing your own emotional well-being. A truly independent person understands that their needs and feelings are just as important as anyone else's. They do not tolerate disrespect or inconsistency, and they walk away from situations that drain their energy. Emotional independence also means managing your reactions. Instead of allowing other people's behavior to control your emotions, you learn to regulate your own responses. You do not overreact to small inconveniences, and you do not take everything personally. You understand that people's actions are a reflection of them, not of you. This mindset allows you to remain calm and composed in difficult situations, making you emotionally resilient. When you become emotionally independent, you free yourself from unnecessary stress, heartache, and disappointment. You no longer chase after people, seek validation, or allow others to dictate your happiness. You realize that true fulfillment comes from within, and that is the most powerful form of freedom. Respecting boundaries is a crucial aspect of maintaining self-worth, emotional well-being, and healthy relationships. Boundaries define how we allow others to treat us, how we protect our personal space, and how we communicate our needs. Unfortunately, many people struggle with setting and enforcing boundaries because they fear rejection, conflict, or disappointing others. However, failing to establish boundaries often leads to emotional exhaustion, resentment, and a loss of self-respect. When you learn to respect both your own boundaries and those of others, you cultivate relationships that are built on mutual respect, trust, and genuine connection. One of the biggest signs of self-respect is understanding when to walk away from situations where your boundaries are not honored. In relationships, whether romantic or platonic, many people tolerate mistreatment because they believe that setting limits will push others away. They accept inconsistent behavior, one-sided effort, or even outright disrespect because they fear being alone. However, allowing others to overstep your boundaries does not strengthen relationships. It weakens them. It sends the message that your feelings and needs are secondary, making it easier for others to take you for granted. It is essential to recognize that people who genuinely care about you will respect your boundaries without resistance. A healthy relationship does not require you to beg for basic consideration or explain why your needs matter. When someone values you, they naturally make an effort to respect your space, your time, and your emotional well-being. If someone constantly dismisses or ignores your boundaries, it is a clear sign that they do not have your best interests at heart. In such cases, walking away is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of self-preservation. Respecting boundaries also means not forcing relationships or interactions when the other person is not reciprocating your energy. If someone is distant, unresponsive, or disinterested, do not chase after them. When you respect yourself, you understand that you should never have to convince anyone to stay in your life. People who want to be there will make the effort on their own. Constantly pushing for attention from someone who does not appreciate you only leads to disappointment and a diminished sense of self-worth. Beyond personal relationships, setting boundaries applies to every area of life. In work environments, it means knowing when to say no to excessive demands that compromise your well-being. In friendships, it means not tolerating toxic behavior just to maintain a connection. In daily interactions, it means protecting your peace by avoiding unnecessary drama, negativity, or situations that drain your energy. When you honor your limits, you create a life that aligns with your values and emotional needs. Ultimately, respecting boundaries is a reflection of self-love and self-awareness. It is about knowing what you will and will not accept, and having the confidence to stand by those standards. The more you enforce your boundaries, the more you attract people who genuinely respect and appreciate you. In doing so, you cultivate relationships that are fulfilling, balanced, and rooted in genuine care rather than obligation or control. The power of detachment is one of the most liberating mindsets a person can develop. It does not mean that you stop caring about people, goals, or relationships, but rather that you release the need to control outcomes and force things to happen. Detachment is about understanding that what is meant for you will come naturally, and what is not meant for you will eventually fade away, no matter how much you try to hold on. When you learn to detach from unhealthy attachments, toxic relationships, and unrealistic expectations, you create space for peace, fulfillment, and genuine happiness. Many people experience suffering because they cling too tightly to things that are not serving them. They hold on to relationships that drain them, jobs that make them miserable, or friendships that no longer align with who they are. This attachment comes from fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of being alone, or fear of losing something they once valued. However, holding on to something out of fear is not love, nor is it strength. True strength comes from having the wisdom to recognize when something is no longer good for you and the courage to let go of it. One of the greatest benefits of detachment is emotional freedom. When you are overly attached to a specific person, outcome, or expectation, you place your happiness in something external. You believe that you can only be happy if things go a certain way, or if someone treats you the way you want them to. This dependency creates stress, anxiety, and disappointment because life does not always go according to plan. But when you detach, you free yourself from this emotional turmoil. You learn to flow with life rather than resist it, and as a result, you experience a greater sense of inner peace. Detachment also allows you to see situations more clearly. When you are overly invested in a relationship or a goal, you may ignore red flags, compromise your values, or lose sight of your self-worth just to keep things together. But when you step back and detach emotionally, you can evaluate things objectively. You can ask yourself, is this truly making me happy? Is this situation aligned with my growth and well-being? If the answer is no, then detachment gives you the strength to walk away without regret. Another important aspect of detachment is trust. Trust in yourself, in the process of life, and in the idea that what is truly meant for you will never require excessive force. The right relationships, opportunities, and experiences will align with you naturally when you focus on your growth, self-respect, and happiness. When you detach from the need to control everything, you make space for better things to enter your life effortlessly. Ultimately, detachment is not about indifference. It is about valuing yourself enough to let go of what drains you. It is about knowing that you are complete on your own, and that you do not need to chase, beg, or force anything. True fulfillment comes when you release expectations, embrace the present, and trust that the right things will find you at the right time. Time and energy are two of the most valuable resources a person has. Yet many people waste them on things and people that do not contribute to their growth or happiness. Instead of focusing on self-improvement and meaningful pursuits, they invest their time in chasing after relationships, seeking validation, or trying to prove their worth to those who do not appreciate them. However, when you shift your focus from chasing others to working on yourself, you begin to see real progress in your life. You realize that your time and energy should be spent on things that add value to your future, not on situations that leave you feeling drained and unfulfilled. One of the biggest mistakes people make is giving too much of their energy to relationships that are one-sided. They text first every time, make all the plans, and go out of their way to be noticed. They invest emotionally in people who give them little to nothing in return. But the reality is, if someone truly values you, they will meet you halfway. You should never have to exhaust yourself trying to prove your worth to someone who is indifferent toward you. Instead of using your time to chase after those who do not appreciate you, use it to build yourself, mentally, emotionally, and physically. The moment you stop giving your energy to those who do not reciprocate it, you create space for better things to come into your life. Instead of constantly checking your phone, waiting for a reply from someone who barely acknowledges you, use that time to develop new skills, start a passion project, or take care of your well-being. Growth happens when you shift your focus inward, rather than seeking external validation. Every moment spent worrying about someone who does not prioritize you is a moment that could have been used to better yourself. Managing your time and energy wisely also means being selective about the people you allow into your life. Not everyone deserves access to you. Some people will drain you emotionally, waste your time with meaningless interactions, or bring negativity into your life. When you recognize your value, you become more protective of where and how you invest your energy. You surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, rather than those who make you feel like you are not enough. Another important aspect of energy management is understanding that self-improvement is the best investment you can make. When you focus on your personal growth, you naturally attract the right people and opportunities. Confidence, success, and happiness come from working on yourself, not from seeking approval from others. Instead of chasing after love or attention, become the best version of yourself, and the right people will recognize your worth without you having to beg for it. At the end of the day, you have a limited amount of time and energy. Spend it wisely. Choose to invest in things that bring you joy, peace, and progress. Stop chasing, stop begging, and start building yourself. When you do, life will reward you with better opportunities and meaningful connections. The right people and opportunities will always align with you naturally when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to force connections, chase relationships, or push for opportunities that are not meant for them. They believe that if they just try harder, give more, or prove their worth, they will finally get the love, attention, or success they desire. However, true connections and opportunities do not require constant struggle. What is meant for you will come effortlessly when you are in the right place, mentally, emotionally. When you stop chasing, you allow things to unfold as they are meant to. This does not mean you sit back and do nothing, but rather that you focus your energy on self-improvement and personal growth rather than forcing things that are not reciprocated. The right people will come into your life when you are in alignment with yourself, when you are confident, happy, and living with purpose. The right job or career path will reveal itself when you develop your skills, work on your passions, and stay consistent. The key is to focus on what you can control, your mindset, your effort, and your personal growth, rather than trying to control the outcomes. Chasing after people who do not appreciate you only leads to disappointment. If someone is meant to be in your life, they will show up willingly and consistently. You will never have to beg for their time, affection, or commitment. Love, friendship, and meaningful relationships should feel mutual, effortless, and uplifting. When you stop pursuing those who do not see your worth, you make room for those who do. Desperation repels, but confidence and self-respect attract. The moment you let go of people who are not meant for you is the moment better ones will enter your life. The same principle applies to opportunities. Sometimes, people hold on to jobs, projects, or dreams that are not in alignment with their true potential. They force themselves into situations that do not feel right because they fear uncertainty or believe that they must struggle to succeed. However, when you trust that the right opportunities will come, you stop forcing and start allowing. You begin to recognize that rejection is often redirection towards something better. By focusing on your growth, improving your skills, and staying open to possibilities, you naturally attract the right opportunities without having to chase them. Letting go of the need to control everything does not mean giving up on your goals or relationships. It means understanding that what is truly meant for you will never require force. It means believing in yourself, trusting the process, and allowing life to bring you what is in alignment with your highest good. When you stop running after things that are not meant for you, you will be surprised by how effortlessly the right people, experiences, and opportunities find their way into your life. The key is to trust, grow, and let things flow naturally.